thing. And talking of racing, we're going to move on to the Dark Horse.
The Dark Horse.
Where did this? I mean, you signed Tatty Franz, one of the first guys to sign. It's called the Dark Horse. I mean, it was quite funny. Tatty was loving it.
Yeah.
Where's the Dark Horse come from? Come on.
You know, sometimes they used to call, like when Chris Yates, the guy that writes the PWA report, was writing about me on PWA. It was always, you know, we have this guy that is contender for the podium. This guy, you know, for the event, you know, that guy is for the title. This guy, and not to forget Arnon Dagan, the Dark Horse, that can come from behind and spritz everybody. So this is where the name came from, and then Tati came. So that's perfect, you know. So this is what this board is doing now, you know. It's coming, and you know.
I mean, for people who don't know, Dark Horse in England is that sort of loose cannon, the one that you don't think's going to do it, and suddenly they know, you know, on their day they can destroy people.
Exactly,
you know,
and this is this. It's actually this. I read it and I knew it. I knew this phrase, and the board is doing it now. You know, like we got the Defi Wind fin last year. You know, people don't notice so much, but we had a first and a third in the Defi Wind last year with Loan Jules and Tati France. This year we made a huge leap. We pushed so much, you know. We knew we had good boards, but we wanted to be like explosive.
So let's talk us through the slalom boards. I know a lot of people out there are into slalom board. I should touch on this because I've seen it obviously on all the boards from Kinetic, Gortex valve.
Yeah, I think all the boards in the world are moving to this, but the important thing for us is that it's the original Gortex. We actually pay a lot of money for this because if these things are false, then you get screwed. And I see a lot of fake of this, and Kinetic insists that it will be the Gortex from the company Gortex. So this is important.
And I heard they don't warranty the boards unless they're allowed to put the Gortex valves in, but which is what everyone has anyway. But
no, you can. They welcome you to put the old screw.
Oh, okay. I thought they wanted you to put these in. Okay.
No, like they just recommend it, and we find it brilliant. You know, I'm over the days that you go to the lake and you need to shut up and you forget the thing, then you forget it. The board is full of water.
I mean, for people who don't know, you don't touch it. You know, it's self-regulating. So when it's hot, air can come out and blah blah blah. You know, it actually breathes with the board.
But again, it's very important to have the original one because the fake ones can leak, you know, and I've seen it before, you know, Nike foil boards and stuff. It's like, so this is the original Gortex. Okay,
sizes in the Dark Horse slalom board.
So 5 sizes. Obviously, the main sizes up to now were 97, 117, and 132. We have the old sizes, which is the 107 and then 122.
Okay.
The 107 this year, guys, ladies and gentlemen, the 107 this year is the mother of all spritzers.
How wide is the 107?
It's 70 wide.
Okay.
And that board is like, you know, once in a while you get a 5-star board with everything is just super sweet. This is the 107 this year.
Okay.
97 the same. I mean, again, Tati this year walked all over the fun race in Defi. You know, and last year he had a really hard time with Jordi, which came second. And this year he said he's just like, he was killing it.
He's
you know?
looking good.
And you can see, we talked about it before in the previous video, but this board just, the boards hit the nail, and it's a lot of work behind, a lot of work.
I was going to say, we talked about in the previous video, for people who didn't see it, Amado's been putting this through its paces in the jumping department as well.
This is part of a confidence that we have in our boards, which is, again, one of our unique points. The finishing of the board, you see how beautiful it is one point, but the actual construction, to trust in the construction as much as we do now, is something I've never experienced in windsurfing. That's why I went and I'm paying an arm and a leg to get this.
They are more expensive to manufacture.
They are more expensive to manufacture. They use high-end materials imported from Europe, from Italy, from Switzerland, from New Zealand, like lots of like best of the best ingredients. So and it shows. You know?
And obviously slalom boards, for people who don't know, don't come with fins, I'm guessing. Maybe.
No, the slalom boards don't come with fins. We still like to.
Do you recommend? Because obviously you've got that connection with Z.
Yeah, we test the board with Z fins, but we test them with all other fins as well, with a lot of because we want the boards to work with everything. The Z is going to be sweet on it.
I'm going to ask you, because I've got my system now, I'm not sure it's accurate. How do you decide what fin you need for a board? Do you have a cheat? I mean, I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, let's see.
It's not very accurate, but we talked about it in videos. Half the width and add a little bit. Is that a really bad way?
There used to be a tail relation.
Let's say, so 62.5, half of 62 is 31 and a bit, so that would probably be a 32 fin for me.
It's perfect, yeah, your system is correct, it's perfect.
Do you have a system like that, or you just know?
I just know, but it comes from many years of experience. But I remember the Maui boys, when I used to do the Maui series, they did it off the tail, off the side of the tail. But the tails changed so much now that it's like,
I mean, that's a rough system, but in case you've got no idea, it really does work. And I have got no idea. And if I do that with the fins I've got, because I do have a few fins, it puts me right in the ballpark. But, and then you go out and you test and you see.
No, you nailed it. That's the size. The 32 is perfect for this fin.
Okay, interesting. So obviously different sizes in that, and then we're going to go on to
the flying
camel. Which is definitely one of my favourite names in the business. You've had a lot of success with this board as well. Obviously, Amado, this is what he's been using to win those events.
Yes.
Is this your best-selling board? I mean, what is the best-selling board out of interest?
The slalom boards.
Slalom boards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maciej Rakowski, I've seen him. He hasn't got a board sponsor at the moment, but he's using the flying camel.
Yeah, he chose to use it, which is an honor for me.
Yeah.
You know, like if a guy on a caliber like Maciej chooses this, then you know that you're on the right track. We work a lot with the flow program. We have amazing engineers in the company. We have a custom factory in Israel with let's say Leo Elfassi, which is the shaper of the boards, and together with me and the designer, and he's a guy that is fully out of the box and has a lot of knowledge, and I think we are a little bit ahead of our time with the boards. You know, we went very quickly to very narrow and thin nose, and this helped a lot Amado to beat the guys in the jibes. If you go back to the videos from last year, you see that not every time he's first on the mark, but he really gains on the jibes. And actually Maciej said the same, that he was surprised he's like, now I know how every time he sneaks.
So it's aerodynamics, are we talking? Is that
talking aerodynamic, talking basically the board looks like a bullet. So the evolution of foiling was that, the looking at the aerodynamic, you looked at the apparent wind in the nose, and like the board started, you can see in the 187, which is a little bit of an older model, the nose is much thicker than the newer versions. And this gives a lot of stability. The thicker nose gives a lot of stability because it works like a nice profile, stable profile. But once we evolved, we realized that the wind does make a huge difference. People say, it was the foil. They don't give a lot of importance to the board, but actually, if you jump from a few different types of boards, you'll see how much safer you can suddenly go with which safety is the most important thing, because people are scared of foiling. You could go with a nice, correct shape.
Okay.
And I feel we are really good at it, and the results are speaking for themselves. And one thing which is also interesting, because we need to be stable, it's good for beginners and recreationals as well. So actually people are scared of the race stuff, but in foiling, if you take a good foil and a kind of nice high level board, you'll feel more safe.
Okay.
So I really recommend to try it.
Sizes wise, I know the PWA have got for one foil board this year.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of guys 85 wide. Is that going to be your main?
Yeah, that's the main thing, the one board to do them all.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a hybrid between the Spritzer, the 145, which is amazingly fast.
So 81 wide.
81 wide, and then the 187, which has a wider tail.
Yeah.
So it's exactly a hybrid between them. We took the speed features. We also improved again with the program the deck. The deck became even more refined.
I was going to say, obviously we've seen a lot of that scallop deck in the slalom boards as well.
Yes.
What give people an idea at home of what that's achieving? What is that for?
Okay, so I'll touch slalom and I'll touch foil very briefly. Okay. First of all, first rule is when we realize that we put it deeper, you're safer, you're more stable. When you come to the fin boards, you're also able to tilt the board better on the rail.
Okay.
All right, and once you tilt the board better on the rail is being used a little bit like a fin, so you can potentially use a smaller fin and go faster, right? Less drag, exactly. And then, with the slalom board, interesting feature of the new slalom boards, which maybe is worth touching, is that we pushed it really, really wide.
I was going to say, it's a big old flat spot with coming up at the sides.
And that gave us quite a lot of achievements. The first achievement is that you created a really round and fat rail.
Yeah.
So that really helps in the jive, because just like a waveboard, when you go into the jive, the rail sucks.
Yeah,
and it gives you a lot of stability, you know? So you can really lay it down, go on the rail at any speed, and you come out like boom. The other thing is that all of a sudden, this, I admit it was a surprise, but when we thought about it, we understood it makes sense. The board is automatically adjusting itself because the wind is touching, is catching this nose, it goes all the way.
Okay.
And once you go faster, the nose actually tames itself down because the wind is pushing it down, you know?
Gotcha.
So it's really, really nice.
Like on a sports car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, everybody's doing it because it's just better. It's more stable.
Yeah,
you know,
because the center of lower in the board keeps it solid. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. That is the full range of future flyboards. I know you're doing some stuff with Liberty Harness.
Yeah,
do you want to touch on that? Because I know a lot of people have asked me about it. I've been using one from time to time. For my I'll be honest, my casual sails, I'm still just going for the waist harness because I'm so used to it.
Yes.
But when I went to the Defi, when I'm doing some more long stuff or more sort of lengthy sessions, I've been going for this. And if I wear it a bit higher than when I first put it on, it feels perfect. I mean, give me your experience. That I know you're selling a lot because I've spoke to a lot of people and they're loving it, especially RSX racers as well. I've seen.
Everybody's using the thing. I think it's going to go into the kiting and the wings as soon as somebody. I heard they already tried it, and I'm sure it's going to take off. Look, the thing is faster. First of all, it's faster.
Give me a talk, because I've done a one before, but I want to hear it from you.
Okay, so history. Liberty is a historical brand. They used to support Anders Bigdal, Robert Aritia. I don't know if people remember it.
I always remember the ocean race.
The ocean
race. That's what I remember.
They still do all the weight jacket stuff.
Yeah, weight jackets.
They do a lot of the, you don't see it, but a lot of the pros, if not most of them, are using their buttons. And then this thing was there for quite many years. Steve kept using it, Steve Allen, as usual, is the first in everything, kept telling us how good it is. We are like, come on, this is like a dive, you know, like this is so big and this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some people started getting it, Enrico Marotti, I had it, you know. And what happened is that as slalom evolved, people started going to the waist harness because it was safer. Antoine Albo was the last one with the waist harness, with the seat harness. But again, these uncomfortable straps on your balls, or you know, it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we started using waist harness because of more control. Okay, we could get quite good speed with the lower hook.
Yeah.
But you had those straps, and this was really uncontrollable because it put a lot of pressure on your legs, and that lifts the board. And when it gets high wind, you just get out of control.
Yeah.
This thing is exactly in the middle. It gives you a bit of the extra speed, because the hook is lower, but it's not as low as the classic seat harness, and it's not as high, and it never goes up like the waist harness, which is annoyingly going up, as we know. If you don't, waist harness is like a problem of many people, also recreational sailors. It's very hard. People have different type of bodies. You can try 10 harnesses, and you know, maybe just the 10th one will fit your body shape, and this thing doesn't go up. It helps back issues because it's big and it has really good support. And it just took off, and then for the racing it's just faster. You see IQ foilers. Almost
foilers are loving it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially.
But it also works in slalom, and a lot of recreational sailors are trying it, and they just simply love it. You know, the support, the size of the hook, the fact you don't have the straps, and it's a jackpot.
I mean, you just got to look at the PWA. There are some top boys using it. That's all you need to look at.
Woo! We knew we were going to have one disaster.
We got it. We got it. We got it. And I think on that note, cheers, dude.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so there we go. That was the future fly. We're going to back up. It's the end of the day here in the King of the Bay. The free beers are about to get kicked off. We're going to go and have one of them. Cheers to Arnon, and we'll see you for the next one.